Hi guys, once again this is Alfred from BinaryOptionsTutor.com. I'm here tonight, at least in my neck of the woods, to talk about how to read an oscillator. That's the primary focus. Now, the guinea pig I've got is an oscillator here, is our crosswalk indicator. This is a indicator that's included with our BigDaddy strategy, and this is essentially the setup template for the BigDaddy strategy on that premium strategy on our site. Now, I'm going to go through and talk about how to read an oscillator, but while I'm doing this, I'm gonna start something going, and I'm gonna try and explain why I'm taking a trade. This is the Aussie Jap Yen, and we're not moving very much. Volatility is terrible, but some things that you can envision right here is this is the average move of the last 30 days rounded down, and you see we're hanging just around that. We're also hanging pretty much just around this 8 around at 8 EMA, and volatility is looking dreadful. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to start a bet, and I'll probably come back. I'll explain this bet while we're doing it. Again, this is the Nadex platform. This is Aussie Jap bet. It's 95. That's that whole number. You just saw that. That was the yellow line on a round and whole numbers chart. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna buy here. I'm just taking this just to have something cooking, and it's already moving. If I would have just started my video just a while earlier, it would have been better. Now I can't get in and get filled. Okay, we're really just taking this bet for demo purposes, so. Oh, okay, I'm in. Okay, that bet's on the table. This is just a little demonstration bet. While I'm going over the oscillator and reading oscillators in general, thought I'd put a little bet on here. You can see we got in there. We're buying, and we got our Aussie Jap calling up from the strike, which is the whole number. That's gonna take a while to play out. Got about another hour on that puppy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to read an oscillator, and I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back and we'll see what happened on that. This is really that's kind of, I want to explain the bet and just talk through some of the logic while I'm explaining the oscillator. Okay, no matter what indicator you're using, every one of them going to have an oscillator. There's a zero line. Well, every one of them that actually is based around the oscillator, there's going to be a zero line. This zero line right here, this is in the center. Right there. I don't know how easy it is to see it, but zero line itself is just that center of the universe for the oscillator. Now, the indicator is going to be oscillating above or below that zero line. And that zero line is your center. There's a limit as to what kind of drawing you can do inside of MT4, because MT4 is a charting software. It's not graphics software. And in a way, that's well, you can make lemons out of lemonade, in that a lot of the indicators are constrained to look the same. And when you learn how to read an oscillator pretty good, then from one indicator to another, you know, you really will be familiar with what you're seeing in front of you. That's the purpose of this, as well as to go over some stuff with the Crosswalk TI indicator is explicitly. Now, we've talked about the zero line, price oscillating above and below that zero line. When you're seeing price oscillating above that line, in general, there's an interpretation that the market is bullish based on that indicator. Price is oscillating below that line, there's an interpretation the market is bearish based on that indicator. Now, if we look at our stats up here, we can see Aussie Jap Yen, the swing up, you know, barely nothing, swing down all day. This is where the day started, right here. Swing down pretty much all day. If we were to look at our indicator just at a glance, and let's say that every little line we got here, this low vote, this low vote, these teeny little votes here oscillating above, these are votes for the market going up. What do you notice at a glance? As you start to take in this oscillator, there's not a lot of votes for the market going up, and there's a hell of a lot more for the markets going down. The price up here reflects the same, because the swing up on the day, not very much at all. Swing down dramatically, almost 8 times as much. So indicators versus price action is always a weird argument for me. You're not everything really, even the candles are actually just an indicator, because you're not looking at the tick data and actually taking it in and absorbing it one tick at a time like a computer would do. So that's what I'm getting at with that. Now let's dig a little deeper into reading an oscillator. We know that when price is above, market is bullish. We know that when price is below, market's bearish. Our crosswalk indicator has a gray area. When I see this gray area, just like we make a gray area on a lot of our indicators, that indicates I'm expecting some chop in the market, back and forth in price. There's that gray area there, and I'm looking for back and forth in price. That didn't happen there. You know, we just we kept moving. Little bounce off of this 200 EMA, and once we broke that EMA, we just kept with the move of the day. Now, if I came here and to set down at a chart and I see our crosswalks right here, and I'm getting in here, I sit down, I see our crosswalks just started with a strong downtrend. Okay, I can go short right there. I'm sure if I had my slope on this chart, the slope would be red, Heikin-Ashi red. We're oscillating below, and also we've got a strong downtrend here on our crosswalk indicator. But here's where you got to use your noggin a little bit. We're right at central pivot, and we're also right at that 200 EMA. What's a safer thing to consider doing? If the market's going down, you can either wait on a pullback. That didn't happen very much, or I'm going to share my opinion, and my opinion, the safer thing to do is to wait until you finally see a close of one of these 15-minute candles right here below the 200. Wait till you see a close below, and now's a pretty decent time to get in, because now, and I'm going to talk a little about price action. Now, at least you're aware that there was a roadblock in front of your trade, and that was the central pivot in the 200 EMA. That's not there anymore because price is just closed below it. And if price, all we would know at this point is that price is going down on the day. So now we're trading with the trend, and we don't have those two big roadblocks in front of us anymore. So it's a time to ride this strong trend that had started to be indicated here on our crosswalk indicator. That's what I'm getting at with that. Okay, now let's talk about the colors for the crosswalk. Let me clean that. Okay. Darker green, we are trending, interpreting a strong trend up. Lighter green, we are interpreting a weak trend up. Right here, lighter red, we're interpreting a weak trend down. And you'll also notice we're below that zero line, and there's a weak trend up, there's a strong trend up. That's how we're reading these colors on the crosswalk indicator. Now, also another thing about reading any oscillator is, let me find my little tool here, because I can't draw worth crap. My brother can. Didn't happen for me. There's also the actual oscillation itself. And what you see here is I just drew my little line, and we're oscillating below the zero line, but also right here on this indicator, we're making lower lows and lower lows and lower lows. And that's indicating to me, by interpreting the oscillator, not only are we oscillating below the zero line, but the downtrend according to this indicator at that point, is getting stronger. Now, we could also see the reverse of that, which would be, we may be oscillating below the line, but look right here. We're oscillating below the zero line, but actually the trend is getting stronger to the upside. What's the difference in this and the price action at the top of the chart? Lord knows I'll never know. Because when you read the oscillator and learn to read the oscillators, it's the same. It's just data being compressed in a manner that it'd be a lot easier for a human being to understand. Now, we've got a little something extra here to try and help, hopefully, help guys interpret at a glance a little quicker. And combined with the human intuition we all have, I think you can be competitive with a computer. You can see the oscillations are going up, although we're down. You can see we went from strong to weak. Then you can see a green, light green here, oscillation below the zero line. This is something that we put into the crosswalk, and sometimes it can signal a small reversal. And it's trying to be early because we are oscillating down below the zero line, but we've turned green. And really, guys, when you can look at an oscillator, and any oscillator on MT4, some other oscillators, not a lot of, I haven't ran into other indicators that will try and get the jump, let's say, on price movement by turning green below the zero line. That was, an idea that my brother and I came up with recently. But essentially, how to read oscillators just been covered in this video. Little differences with our crosswalk indicator, but at the same token of the time, if you can look at a chart and learn to read these oscillators, just using them as tools to help you interpret, you're gonna find a lot of times, when at a glance you can kind of see what's been happening in the market. We can see market bullish for the most part there in this area of our oscillator. You can also see price action. It's not telling you anything different. Heikin-Ashi blue trading above the ADMA, trading above central pivot as well as the 200 EMA. And which direction do you want to go to be trading with the trend? You want to be going in a bullish direction. How do you know when to give up? A pretty good tool for getting you out, probably as early as you can in most cases, and in my biased opinion, is once you start to see these strong downtrends over here on the crosswalk. It's no big deal. You may have made a hypothesis, but things are starting to unravel, and you start to see that close there, then okay, it may be time to let the idea go. Or you want to be a little more persistent. Again, you've got this wonderful strong barrier here of the 200 EMA as well as central pivot. So you may wait till you get there. But part of trading, outside of speculating on binaries, a great part of trading is to be able to leave at the smallest loss you can possibly incur. So if you've got an indicator that's fast enough to maybe give you a little heads up here, as well as you're starting to see Heikin-Ashi turn as well, and price trading below the 8 EMA, maybe a good thing is if you can actually get out there, go ahead and get out there. But I'm really talking outside of the scope of what I wanted to cover. I just wanted to do a little bit more talk about the crosswalk indicator and explaining it and how to use it. I want to talk about the settings inside of the crosswalk also right quick. Okay, top to bottom, we got a setting here. These are the settings that we configure for the crosswalk, and I suggest you leave those the way they are. We've got a show forming bar. If show forming bar is true, you're going to get the bar for the current candle. I find crosswalk talks a little bit more if you're showing forming bars, it's moving back and forth. And also, when I'm using an oscillator, I like to be very close to the close or just look at the close of the previous candle. So that's why I turn mine to false a lot of times. Another thing you can do is this area right here, alert on strong. I find that I only want to know and hear from this puppy when I'm starting to not only see an oscillation, but I don't want the weak oscillations. I only want to hear the alerts when there's a strong oscillation, because that can call me over to look at a chart. Of course, we've got the weak oscillations. You can turn on alerts for those as well. We've got the gray area. You can turn on alerts for those as well. We've got the alerts themselves. You turn them on, or you're not worried about so much of the alerts and all of the audio. Turn them off. You know, the BigDaddy is going to give you an alert when the crosswalk is strong at that current 15-minute candle. So you don't technically have to be listening to the alerts all the time. Now, this is to enable pop-ups, and if you want to have those pop-ups, then of course you can turn that on. So that just covers configuring the indicator. Before I get out of here, well, I'm going to come back at the end of this bet, but someone may be saying, well, Alfred, if the trend all day was down, why in the hell did you just go in there and do a bet that was up on Nadex? Okay, I want to explain that. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. We still got some time left. That's an hour-long bet, and it's counter trend. But I can explain why I took the bet. Right here, we've got our little blue average swing down for the last 30 days. Like I pointed out earlier, we've also got our 8 EMA. We've broken this support 1. And also, at the time that I took the bet, I knew that Australia and Wellington, New Zealand were closed. So what I was hoping was that we've done all of our run for this pair for the day, or at least there's not going to be a resumption of the move, hopefully until London opens. And at the time London opens, this bet is going to expire on Nadex. So this is a counter trend, but again, the strike is right here at the whole number. Got that on my side. Crosswalk was very, very soft, barely showing me anything back there. but it was oscillating just a pinch above the number, and I had a little, insurance because we were already actually above the whole number that I done my strike on Nadex on. So I'm going to pause right here. When this bet's over, I'll come back and show you guys what happened. It's looking pretty good now, but like I said, there's still 38 minutes left in this bet. That's really just a lot to do about reading oscillators, how they correlate with price action, and using them to kind of get a bird's eye view of what's been going on recently, as well as counting those votes for the Bulls and the Bears, and starting to put your ideas for a trade together. See you guys on the other side of this. Let's see what happens with this little demonstration. It's a counter trend trade, and again, before I get out of here, 1 point something out. Don't know what's gonna happen, but what was the easier thing for me to do all day and hours long? Trade down, which the trend is going down. There's hardly anything poking up over here on our oscillator to give us an indication of the trend going up. Where are some good places to get in? Because sometimes the great thing about taking a longer term trade is you don't have to be rushing to get in. I like to go back to this low 8. There's a place we touched it. There's a place we touched it. There's a place we touched it. All of these instances where I think we crossed it there and even went back up to the 200. So all of those places are nice little pullbacks to catch a ride on the trend that you're seeing, indicative of the crosswalk indicator and the setup that we described in the BigDaddy trading strategy. Let's see, this is a counter trend trade. Every time I line up to do one of these videos, I can point you guys to what the simpler trade is, the BigDaddy style trade, and that's the big move, but I'm showing these counter trend trades. No worries, guys. We're gonna do some live Big Daddies down the road. Lots of content to add to this playlist, but I just wanted to cover the crosswalk in greater detail. See you guys on the other side of this video. Okay guys, I'm back on the other side of this video. We got about a minute left. You can see price being quoted here, 95. Okay, that's 244. We had to be above this whole number, 95. We're in the last minute. This will be expiring just a while. Should expire in the money. And that's a counter trend trade. Gonna take a little while to settle. But again, we chose to strike below where the market currently was, and it was a counter trend trade. But another way to look at this is, as I got into this trade, we were just starting to see the peak of a little trade, new trend going in the opposite, in the opposite direction, but it's a smaller trend, certainly not the predominant trend of the day, which was down. And that's why we just took that little about an hour trade. And that's pretty much it, guys. Trend in and of itself is kind of relative. Faster indicators, something that can kind of spot things a little, well, in my opinion, a little sooner. They're gonna spot these little microwave movements, these little smaller waves inside of the larger predominant trends, and that's what I'm getting at there. See you guys on the next video. Hope this has helped you guys with some ideas about how to read and interpret all the oscillators out there. Hearing a couple of people on YouTube pronouncing oscillators. Hopefully it's helping them as well. It's oscillator. Okay, see you guys on the next video. Once again, this is Alfred from BinaryOptionsTutor.com.